What's up? What's happening? What is popping? What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another great edition of Symone with the Sports. I'm Symone, bringing you guys the daily sports talk. So if you're new here, if you're old here, you haven't already subscribed to my channel, stop what you're doing, leave a comment, subscribe, keep rocking with me. Also, make sure you check out the many links down below. The first one is to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel. The second link is to shop the official Symone with the Sports, a merch collection. Get you the classic tee, the wavy tee, or the fly or die crew neck that I've been rocking lately. And lastly, guys, if you don't do anything else, turn your notification bells on so you do not miss a single video or a single live stream, especially now since training camp is underway. It's basically football season, baby. It don't feel like it outside, but you know what I'm saying. It's basically about to get into the full swing of the NFL. It's about to be August, y'all. Next week, Monday, is August. So, you know, turn it up tame. Training camp, full swing. Getting ready for the preseason games. And then, you know, it's full-fledged ahead, baby, for the season. So make sure you are tapped in here. But, guys, we had our first official day of training camp today. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. And we have a lot. Not really, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. We got some stuff to get into from the first day of training camp. So let's go ahead and get into my notes. So let's start off with some transactions. So yesterday I did a whole video on transactions. We signed 2 players, Kobe Smith and JAEDEN Graham, and we also released some players as well. So if you missed that yesterday, go check that out on my page because we had a lot of transactions, roster moves go down yesterday. But today we started the day with some more transactions. So we signed center Cameron Tom, most recently with the Dolphins. He's been in the league for about 4 years now, but he's kind of bounced around. Then we signed wide receiver Lance Lenoir, who's been a journeyman around the league. So we signed 2 players, a center and a wide receiver, and then we released 2 tackles. So we released Jarrett Williams and we also released Brett Toth. And we can kind of predict that because we are super, super, super deep, which is a great thing on the offensive line. Like I keep saying, some of our second unit guys could very well be starting offensive linemen on another team in the league if we weren't so deep. But we did, like I said, we did end up signing another wide receiver, Lance Lenoir. When, I don't know, I mean, you need bodies and they do stuff for reasons, but y'all, we already know that it's going to be a long shot for this guy to make the roster because our wide receiver room is pretty much already set. So I guess just a training camp body, somebody for, you know, Darius laying them to beat up on, I don't know. But let's get into some of the quotables that came out today in the press conferences. So a lot of guys spoke to the media today. And it wasn't really like any breaking news at all. We don't have the kind of, we're not going into, this is not a training camp we're going into where it's going to be like a lot of notable things I feel like coming out the press conferences because we kind of already know like most of everything is pretty much set. We already know quarterback 1, we already know wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, basically wide receiver 3. We already know our starting cornerbacks. We pretty much know what's going on across the defensive line. So it's not really like a training camp where it's like questions in the starting rotation and in the starting unit. So it's not really gonna be that much kind of to dig from the press conferences before, like in the past when we were trying to figure out who's going to be quarterback 1. Is Jalen Hurts going to be getting snaps? You know, what's the situation between Carson and Jalen? Like, it ain't no juiciness coming out of camp right now. But, so the players had practice today. So they had 58 minutes of practice day 1, and then they have tomorrow off. And then they pick back up Friday. And Friday is the day where most teams across the league are starting or really picking up on training camp. So big, huge, and great news. Brandon Graham is a full go. We know he suffered an Achilles tendon injury last season, but he is full go, full practice participant. So it's great to have him back. But just going around some different sound bites, we can start off with Nick Sirianni, and he just kept talking about expectations, living up to the expectations, competing and playing and putting in the work to live up to the expectations. He also talked about Jalen Hurts as well. He said he's seen a lot of quicker decision making from him. He's getting better getting the ball off in time. He's still being able to make plays with his feet. and he saw better accuracy from him in OTAs. And like I said, they only had 58 minutes of practice today. So when he's talking about this stuff from Jalen Hurts, he's mainly talking about what he's seen from OTAs, not necessarily today at practice. There was some clips of like him throwing to Jalen Hurts and him throwing to Quez Watkins. But like I said, it was a very light practice day, 58 minutes. By the time you stretch and do all that warm-up stuff, then it's really no time for anything else. So A.J. Brown spoke as well. A.J. Brown talked about his relationship with Jalen Hurts and how he is feeling the love in the city. So it's good to know that he's actually feeling the love that we projected out. Like I said, we pretty much all manifested A.J. Brown to Philly and love that for us. But he also talked about his relationship with Jalen Hurts, and him and Jalen Hurts all about preparation, and Jalen all about preparation, and both of those guys showing up early ahead of everybody else. Boom, 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 boom. So that's great to see that chemistry there ahead of the season. So then we have Howie Roseman. He wasn't really talking about much. He was just talking about the passion of the city, great passion of the city. We already know we're passionate, you know what I'm saying? We don't need you to tell us that. We already know that. And then he also talked about, you know, just getting ready. We have a long way to go when it comes to the roster, and we have a lot of cuts to make. But again, like I'm saying, I mean, everybody has, you know, a lot of cuts to make. But we pretty much already know, like, the only reason why I feel like this training camp was a little anticlimactic, because we already know, like, our first unit, and we pretty much kind of know majority of the second units for a lot. Like, we already know mainly, we pretty much can predict, like, the depth chart. It's just like some fringe players, you know what I'm saying? Like quarterback 6, cornerback 6, you know what I'm saying? Wide receiver 5, if there's going to be a wide receiver 6, but like top 4 slots on the depth chart, we pretty much already know for every position. So it's a little bit anticlimactic there. But of course, you know, we got to trim 90 down to 53, so it is going to be a long way to go there. And then Devonta Smith spoke. He said he, you know, seeing a lot of growth from himself in year 2 because he knows what to expect with the schedule and, you know, getting acclimated to the NFL going into year 2. You know, he's not a rook no more. And then he also was saying how he's learning a lot from A.J. Brown. And then, guys, Jalen Hurts spoke to the media as well, and Jalen Hurts pretty much reiterated everything Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown was saying. Basically, you know, the work come first. It's all about the grind. They get there early. They stay late. You know what I'm saying? Putting it all out on the field. So, like I said, it wasn't anything really like outside of like the transactions and Brandon Graham's return. When it comes to like the press conferences, it wasn't anything really notable. And these guys are pretty much they all pretty much say the same thing between Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown. You know, grind, put it at work. I'm a dog, you know, the typical G. But guys, make sure you stay tuned in and tapped in here, because you guys know I'm going to update you if anything pops off or anything happens. And like I said, they have tomorrow off, but we will pick back up Friday with some more training camp news and notes. So make sure you have your notification bells on. And like I said, it is full steam ahead into the season, guys. So make sure you have your seatbelt on and you're ready for a great ride. But that only can happen if you have your notification bells on, because if you don't, then it'll be a bumpy ride and you're going to miss a lot of G, and you're going to be like, what? I don't remember that. You know what I mean? Because you ain't hanging notification bells. But y'all, like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, keep rocking with me, and until I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.